Hello everyone and welcome to Recap V. Today we'll be talking about an anime called Monster. Monster is a Japanese manga series written and illustrated by Naoki Urasawa. It was published by Shogakukan in their Big Comic Original magazine between 1994 and 2001. The manga series was adapted into an anime by Madhouse, which aired between April 7, 2004 and September 28, 2005 on Nippon TV. Watch out for spoilers and let us begin. We start by seeing three doctors come out of an operating room, and two of them are amazed at Dr. Kenzo Tenma, who is one of the best and youngest Japanese brain surgeons, working at Eisler Memorial Hospital in Düsseldorf, West Germany. After the two doctors leave, we see Tenma looking at a woman who is crying since she had just lost her husband. After this we see the doctor at home, being awoken by his fiancée, and then they watch the TV as it showcases a commissioner who had escaped from East Germany along with his family. After this, the news changes to his fiancée's father, who is also the director of the hospital he works in, talking about the successful operation they had done on a famous singer. After this, we see Tenma at work, and he seems to be amazing some of his co-workers at how good he is. Outside, one of the co-workers tries to warn him that the director is using him, and that the hospital is only ruled by politics. After they both go their way, Tenma is stopped by the woman who had lost her husband, and she starts blaming him for that because they had let her husband die to operate on the singer, even though her husband was brought in first. He is shocked but then remembers when he was ordered to go to and operate on another patient. After this, we see him on a date with Eva, as his mind is still on what had happened. He tells Eva, but she doesn't seem to really care, and only says that people's lives aren't equal, surprising the man with the calming way she said it. We then see some cops going to the family's home that came from East Germany, after some neighbors had called in saying they had heard some shots. After they go in, they find the parents both dead, and the boy who was shot in the head but was still alive, while the girl was just standing close to his body shocked. We then see Tenma getting an emergency call from the hospital. On his way there, he starts remembering the talk he had with his fiancée and her father, and how he had seen the real face of her father, who told Tenma to stop the research he had almost finished, then lying about doing the operation on the man that came before the singer, and then saying that their hospital isn't there to save lives, but only to progress as medical scholars. After this, we see him at the hospital, where the boy Johan, and the girl Anna, are brought in. They send Johan for x-rays, and as the boy is getting ready for the operation, he goes to see the girl. When he sees her though, she is still shocked, and seems to be saying something. When he reaches out to hear, she is heard repeating the same word, kill. He is then called to the operation room, and after seeing the x-ray with the other doctors, they realize he is the only one that can do this operation. But is then called in by the director who is ordering him and his team to go and operate on the mayor. Tenma talks on the phone with his fiancée's father, and he tells Tenma that the mayor has promised a raise in fonts. Tenma doesn't want to agree to it, but the director makes it very clear and threatening. And so he doesn't say a thing as he puts the phone down, while his team starts going to the other room. He then stops and changes his mind, and goes to the boy, while his team goes to the mayor. And this is where the first episode ends. Episode 2 then starts at the operating room as the doctor manages to successfully take out the bullet, and close the wound. Outside though, as he is resting, his colleagues show up angry at him, because they weren't able to save the mayor. And so they start to blame him for not being there with them. But after this, their true colors show as they start to talk about how this will ruin the hospital's reputation, and only caring about it. After this we see the doctor at home looking depressed and tired. He also seems to be like this at work, as his honest colleague tries to comfort him, but seems to be failing miserably. We then see a detective stopping a nurse and asking if he could talk to Anna, but the nurse says that she can't find the girl, saying that she is always getting out of her bed and going around the hospital, and then both of them start to search for her. We then go to the girl, as she is weirdly walking through the hospital repeating the word kill. After this, we go to a party where we see the director giving a speech. Then Tenma goes to him and starts to apologize. At first the director says is okay, and that he did what he thought was right and followed his heart. But when the head of neurosurgery, being Tenma, is called to give a word, we see that this status was taken from him and given to his other colleague. When Tenma asks the director why, he simply calls him an irresponsible fool, telling him to not even dream of hiring his status, and even threatening to not even think of leaving the hospital, so he can use his skills for his own profit. Tenma is left shocked, and so he starts going outside. There his fiancée shows up, and she simply starts to ignore him. After reaching the door, she turns, takes out the ring he gave her, throws it, calls him a fool, and then goes inside, and starts flirting with his colleagues. The man is left outside, alone. He doesn't even look shocked, just disappointed, and probably feels like a fool himself. After this we see him at the hospital, talking to the boy he saved. He then remembers the words the director used to say to him, and starts getting angry, losing control, and even saying the director should just die. He then calms down, and thanks the kid for opening his eyes to their lies and lust. When he leaves though, we see that the kid was actually awakened and has been listening all this time. Some days later, we see the detective trying to ask the little girl what happened that day, and saying that the BKA will get involved if something isn't shown and that he doesn't have much time. An idea comes to his mind, and says that they should let the girl see her brother. But the nurse and the other doctors say that Dr. Tenma will never allow this to happen this soon. After this, we are sent to Tenma, who seems tired as they have been overworking and use him as a tool. We then go to the director and the other doctors. They start doing what they do best, which is trying to find ways to profit from the kids, since their parents are dead and there is no one to pay for them. But the director says that the kids are getting the hospital attention, as the city had brought presents for the kids, and also says they should take a picture of the kids together and give it to the media, trying to use them as advertisement. One of the doctors then tells him that the kids are under the care of Tenma, and that he isn't allowing them to see each other yet. But the director simply says to take Tenma off the case, as they start eating some candy that was given for the kids. After this, we go to Tenma, who is taking care of a patient. A scream is heard and he runs outside, only to find the little girl unconscious, and sees the doctors with the camera. Tenma understands what is happening and gets angry, and starts shouting at the doctors. But the doctors then show him the boy, who was awakened after seeing his sister, surprising Tenma. After this we see him drunk and going home. And then the scene cuts to a nurse, who finds the two doctors that were talking with the director, dead. After this, we go to Eva and she also finds her father dead in his office. And this is where the second episode ends. Hope you all enjoyed this video. Make sure to leave a like, comment on what you think about it, and don't forget to subscribe so I can make more recaps of movies, TV shows, animes, etc. See you all on the next video.